3D Cinderella Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to continue my Disney Princess series with Cinderella, if you couldn't guess by our outfits. I hope you guys like this one as much as I do. There is a gorgeous hollow on the little dress nail, so please check that out because it is stunning, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well. I'm going to begin with an overlay of a shimmery white acrylic for the Cinderella nail, just so that all of my princess nails in this series, the background for that nail has that same little shimmery white color, so I continued that theme, and then I'm going to encase it with a layer of clear acrylic to make sure that it is nice and strong. And after that's done, I'm going to be filing it into shape with my E-file, starting out with a fairly coarse bit to remove any bulk, and then switching over to a nice fine bit to make it easier to work on top of. I'm really excited. My coarse bit is starting to get a little bit dull, and I have a new one ordered, so I'm really excited for that to come in, and I'll show you guys when I get it. But that's like one of those things where every time I look at a video that's using the old one, I'm like, oh man, that thing sucks. So, anywho, with Cover Pink acrylic, I'm going to start sculpting out Ms. Cinderella's head and neck and shoulder area. So I began with her head right about in the middle of the nail, adding her neck off to one side. She's kind of turned 3/4, so you don't want the neck to be straight down the middle, but just slightly off center. And then add a little bit of her shoulder area, and then with a pale blue color, I'm going to be sculpting her dress, or just a little bit of her dress that shows. But keep that pale blue color out to the side of your work table because you will be using that for her dress nail that goes with this one. So you want to make sure that if you have more than one of them, you don't forget which one you used. So keep that handy. Add the little fluffy sleeve of her dress. Those sleeves, I think, are... Whenever I've tried on a dress that has puffy sleeves, I look at them like, oh my goodness, I look ridiculous. But now Melody's got some clothes that have puffy sleeves, and I think they're so cute. So I must be, depending on the person. I've always thought I looked ridiculous with that kind of a sleeve, but she looks pretty cute with them. Now I'm going to be sculpting her hair with yellow acrylic. So I first added her curled bangs right across the top of her forehead, and then I'm going to be adding her bun up above that. And just kind of try to keep those two areas separated, at least to an extent, but then you're going to continue her hair down the side of her head. And you can see it on one side but not the other. That goes back to her being at a 3/4 sort of a turn. You can see just a little bit on the other side, but not really too much there. And then add a little bit more of that light blue on the one side for her earring. Then with acrylic paint, I'm going to be adding some highlights to her hair with a slightly brighter shade of yellow. Just make sure that that looks just so nice and sunny and vibrant. That also really helps define some of your little 3D details that you had. And then I'm going to take brown paint and do outlines pretty much everywhere else, and just sort of fill those in, add outlines in her hair, around her face and her neck, and not her dress so much, but her hair, face, and neck. I'll do all of the outlines with brown. And if after you do your outlines with brown and you look at it and you're like, some of these just seem like they need a bit more pizzazz, they really need to show up better, you can go through them with black and figure out which ones you feel that way, and you can touch those up. With a darker shade of blue, I added her necklace, her choker, as well as the headband in her hair, and I'm going to be adding a little bit of shading on her dress and some of the outlines for her dress. Just like that. Make sure all those really show off and make sure her dress shows up, especially against that white background, even though it's white and blue. Since it's such a light blue, the background does kind of overtake the dress color and it's hard to see some of the details on the dress. Then take your brown paint once again and start doing all of your outlines. I started out with the bridge of her nose, and then I added the outlines of her eyes and then her eyebrows. I'm going to fill in her eyes with white. And then I'm going to take and add a little bit of pink, or like a burgundy color, a darker pink, and add her mouth. A little bit of a brighter pink highlight on her lips. A little bit of white for teeth, not too much, and that's kind of optional. It is so small that if you omit the teeth, it works. Add some blue in her eyes, and then go through with black and do just a couple little outlines and help define some things. Define her lash line, her pupils. Give her some eyelashes if you hadn't already. Just like that. Make sure that they are very easy to see. You want to make sure that the eyes seem to be the most intense on anything that you paint that has eyes, whether it be a puppy or a canary or Cinderella. We'll make sure the eyes have the most sparkle in them. And then apply some gel sealer over the background, cure and matte top coat over Cinderella. Then for your blue nail, I'm going to begin with an overlay of light blue acrylic. The same color, like I mentioned before, that you used for her dress, just to make sure that that does match. After you have that done, encase it with a layer of clear acrylic to make sure that it is nice and strong. And then I'm going to be filing it into shape with the exact same 2 bits that were frustrating me for the last nail. And then when I do get those new bits, like I said, I will definitely show you guys. The one that I ordered is actually extra coarse, so I'll see if I think that that is too coarse for me. I have a couple clients that I file gel polish off of, and I've been getting just really like, oh, this is taking too long, so I'm hoping that's going to help me there. And I'm going to apply a layer of no wipe gel top coat over the nail and then burnish in some really nice holographic powder. This one I think is from Born Pretty Store. I don't know, I've had it for a while, but if you guys don't have a nice hollow powder like this, definitely think about getting one because they add so much nice little shine and you can see the color through it, so I really like using those. But then with white paint, I'm going to take and add my little Cinderella-esque design on top of it. So I started out with kind of an interlocked heart filigree pattern, was the way I was thinking of it in my head. And then I added another little filigree on top of it, you know, just kind of different ways. And when I found this design, this is one that I mimicked from a picture of Cinderella. I kind of, you know, mimicked but adjusted it so it would fit well on a nail. That's kind of the hard part about some of these things. It's a really pretty pattern, but will it fit well on a nail? That, you know, makes a difference. So then I'm going to apply a layer of gel sealer, and that one is all done. This is possibly my favorite one so far out of this set of Disney princesses. I'm not sure, but I really like this set. You know, it's a classic. So please take me in any recreations. I'd love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!